I'm Andrew Porter from East Coast Yacht Sales. You're joining me aboard Rapture, 2008 Morris M36. This is the Daysailer that started the category of beautiful, luxurious performance Daysailers. A combination of S&S design pedigree and Morris Yacht's incredible boat building, we have a gorgeous version of the M36 Daysailer here. Some of Rapture's systems have been changed on deck to make easier single-handed sailing. So whether you're with a crowd or alone, the boat can be sailed from the helm, on either tack, from the high side. I'll show you some of those details when we walk around the deck. I'm excited to be listing Rapture, and I welcome any inquiries by phone or email. Let's take a peek. The cockpit is the heart of this boat. Daysailers are all about the cockpit and where people can sit and how the driver can be comfortable and sail the boat and how we can get help from friends and families. And this is where you see the M36 shine. Helm seat back aft, beautiful varnished teak wheel on a custom Morris Edson steering system on a Morris pedestal. Beautiful Ritchie compass, B&G plotter at the helm, B&G wind, depth, speed, sailing instruments up at the companionway. Those were all new in 2019. And from this position, the helmsperson has control over everything. You've got your guests right in front of you in the cockpit, general cockpit seating, but more importantly, you've got engine controls right here. You've got sailing controls on the two pedestals, port and starboard, autopilot over to port. You have literally everything at your fingertips. Rapture is a little different in that this owner was sailing alone quite a bit. So he took the time to make some very simple modifications. The jib sheets run on deck through a little low friction ring right there to the secondary winches. And the main sheet is a double-ended main sheet system, often called a German main sheet. So the main sheet is run to the primaries here and here. And then you've also got the vang led to both sides. So when you're sailing on starboard tack and you're over here on the starboard side, you would have jib sheet at hand, main sheet at hand, and vang at hand right here, all within reach of the wheel. Not for everybody, but it does make it simpler if you're out with people who don't want to be involved in sailing or if you're out alone. These small modifications can all be reversed back to the Morris standard really simply. Basically removing that soft shackle on the jib sheet on both sides and then going back to a single-ended main sheet system. So no big deal, but pretty special from a operational sense. So in the cockpit, the main sheet is right here. So there's no traveler, very simple, and it's just sheeted right to the boom right here. It's at the back of the cockpit in the guest area, so it's out of the way. Lots of seating. I'd say room for 6 adults on these cockpit bench seats, 3 on each side if you wanted to. And then of course you could do 1 or maybe 2 back there at the helm. Beautiful companionway. The details and the build quality from Morris, they're evident everywhere, but you just keep looking and you see more and more beautiful stuff. Stepping out onto the side deck, you've got a flip-up spring cleat, swim ladder attachment points there. Beautiful teak decks. These decks are glued down at the factory, except for the margins on the outside and the king planks in the middle. There are no fasteners on this deck. It is just glued down. The mast would be here in that partner. Dorade vents port and starboard for ventilation down below. The cowl vents are removed right now. A huge foredeck hatch up here for ventilation or also for setting and retrieving the asymmetric spinnaker. All the way forward, you can see the hole where the roller furler sits. Just below deck, the furler sits in there so that it's sort of out of sight and a little bit cleaner looking. And that furling line is run below deck. And then you've also got the anchor locker with a manually deployed plow anchor. A block all the way forward at the stem is for the tack line for flying the asymmetric spinnaker. The boom is currently stored on deck. It's an aluminum boom. Simple, normal, manual slab reefing, better sail shape, and very easy to manage. And all of that can be controlled by one person. On the port and starboard sides of the cockpit bench seats, you've got these enormous storage lockers, lazarette sail lockers. The boats are very simple, so there's not a ton of stuff there. You can see the autopilot ram, the holding tank, one seacock. It's all very simple, but there is room for all of your gear, fenders, lines, cushion storage, plenty of room. Stepping through the gorgeous companionway, down 2 steps into the saloon. It's a cozy space that does everything that it should. It is not a massive cruising boat saloon, but it has everything you need. Crouching headroom, 2 long settees that you could sleep on if you wanted to. Sail storage forward up in the forepeak area. Right now the asymmetrical spinnaker is up there, as well as the vang and the hydraulic backstay. But what I notice most is the quality of the build. You don't see this type of craftsmanship and execution on just any boat. Woodwork, fiberglass work, electrical work. The Corian countertop is just beautiful, perfectly executed. Refrigeration under the countertop. Sliding galley compartments. Fusion stereo, which was new in 2019, and an Icom VHF down below, also with a remote up at the cockpit. Just look at the beautiful space, the quality execution. It's a really comfortable place. The head compartment is to port, manual toilet, sink, vanity mirror. It's simple, it works, it fits the boat perfectly. The mast step is right there, so obviously when the mast is stepped, it'll be right here in front of this rod. And there's the forepeak with sail storage and general gear storage. Beautiful execution, really comfortable, cozy spot. Keeping with the simplicity theme of a Daysailer, engine access is right under the companionway steps. There's gas assist shocks to hold up the steps. You've got a 3-cylinder Yanmar, 21 horsepower, runs an alternator, and simple. It's got an outdrive, which we'll look at under the boat. Folding 2-bladed prop, very simple. Under the boat, we can see some of the S&S design features that make this such a sporty sailor. Balanced spade rudder. There is the sail drive with a folding 2-bladed prop for really minimal drag while you're sailing and good performance while you're motoring. The bottom was stripped over the winter of 23-24, fully taken back and primed and painted. Maybe it's not a race finish, but it's awful close. It's a rolled on bottom paint finish and it looks phenomenal. It's in essentially as new condition. A couple of scuffs here from when the boat was trucked and the poppet spots, but we'll take care of those during commissioning. And here's the keel, another S&S design feature. Fin keel with a bulb, so keep some of that weight low. This is a 5-foot 3-inch draft. Sporty performance, pretty manageable draft. Top sides are in good shape. Varnish was updated winter 23-24. As I say, varnish can always use more, but it's in perfectly good condition. Boat shows really nicely. Highly recommended. You can see the Schaefer headsail furler, which sits below deck, just for a cleaner deck. Spar-tight mast collar, all rod rigging. It's a carbon fiber mast. As we saw earlier, it is a aluminum boom. 2 spreaders, radar up on the rig. S&S designed the boat as a fractional rig. So the headstay attaches here, and then you've got another 6 or 8 feet above. One of the things that does is it frees up space for flying. The asymmetrical spinnaker just makes it easier. So the A-sail, when it's up high, doesn't interfere down here with the headstay. That's Rapture, the 2008 Morris M36. What a boat. What a pleasure to list a Morris M36 of this quality. If you have any questions about the boat, or if I can provide any more details, please reach out. My cell phone number and my email are below this video.